Hi friends. Today in this use case we will discuss how you can store the borewell water into the overhead tank using the submersible pump. So you might already be doing it, but how to automate this? Let's discuss that. So assuming you already have a starter panel and you have a submersible motor and you have an overhead tank. Your existing starter panel you start it manually using the green button and you stop it using the red button. So when it gets replaced, it will be replaced by the DigiPump smart motor controller panel. So instead of motor connected to the previous panel will be completely replaced in this case. So motor wire will directly go to the DigiPump smart motor controller panel, and there will be sensors connected to the smart motor controller panel. So there will be two sensors. One is the full sensor, which will indicate the full status of the overhead tank, and one is the empty sensor that will indicate the empty status of the overhead tank. The empty sensor you can set it at different length. Suppose you want to start the motor at just 1/4 of the water level, so you can set the length of the empty sensor accordingly. If you want to start the motor only on the as soon as it goes below the half, then you can set it to the half length of the tank. So in this case, two sensors are required. One is the overhead full to stop the motor, and one is the overhead empty to start the motor. Let's see how these sensors wiring need to be connected to the starter panel. DigiPump provides you two types of connectivity to connect the sensor. One is the wired connectivity, another is the wireless connectivity. In the wired connectivity, you need to bring three wires from the overhead tank up to the starter panel, and these three wires can be connected either through the 3-core cable or Cat5 Cat6 cable using three wire socket. The second, before we go into the wireless, uh, here we describe how they are connected with the electronics. What are the markings? So if you see on the electronics, there is a marking common, overhead empty, overhead full, sump empty, and the pipe sensor. So here we have only shown for the two sensor in the overhead connected to it. So the black wire, which is a common wire, that is joint on the rooftop itself, and from there you can bring only one black wire up to the panel, and the blue wire of the empty that need to be connected onto the OH empty, the brown wire of the full that need to be connected onto the OH full. This is how you connect the sensors in the wired case. In the wireless, you will have two components. One is your starter panel as it was there in the wired connectivity, but here you will have an additional wireless transmitter which will transmit the sensor status wirelessly to the receiver, which is your starter panel. So here you have another transmitter which will be installed on the tank itself, and you have sensors connected to the wireless transmitter. The common of both black wire of both the sensors need to be connected to the black wire of the transmitter. The blue wire need to be connected to the red wire of the transmitter, and the brown wire of the full need to be connected to the green wire of the wireless transmitter. This is how you connect the wireless sensor, and it has a long range wireless connectivity, so you can have your uh, tank maybe 5 to 10 floor easily, wherever your tank is located in the center of the roof or on the corner of the roof. It can cover that. It can cover more floors also, maybe 20-50 floors also, but for that you might need to install a transmitter and receiver in such a way that they can face each other. The dry run sensor, which is sump empty, and the pipe sensor, they can be either wireless or they can also be wired. So we provide you three different options. Like you have all four wires fully wired, then you can have a fully wireless where all four sensor are wireless, and a hybrid where you have the overhead as wireless and the dry run sensor as the wired sensor. Why we provide this? Because with the wireless connectivity, it brings It adds some cost to the solution because of the wireless transmitter and the chip used for the wireless transmission. So when you use sump empty and the or the pipe sensor has to be wireless. So in that case, you will need, in the fully wireless solution, you will need two transmitter, and the two transmitter basically add to the cost of the solution, because overhead will transmit separately and the sump empty sensor transmitter will transmit separately. So it's up to you which solution you want. Now let's discuss the power wiring. How will you connect the phase, neutral, or the power of your motor, RYV wires of your motor? Friends, in this diagram we have shown you the single phase submersible wiring. It's pretty simple. You have total 6 terminal in our panel. One is unused. Two terminals are used for the input L and N, and three terminals are R by V are used for the output. So on the input side, you need to connect the phase from the main line to the L point. You need to connect the neutral to the N point from the main line. So that's how your input wiring is completed. On the output, you must be having three wires from your motor marked as RYB, colored marked, and those you need to connect on respectively onto the RYB terminals marked in the panel. So that's how your submersible wiring is completed. Once you have the power wiring completed, let's discuss what are the features that are available to you in our solution. Friends, DigiPump provides you many inbuilt features to help your automation, but we are going to cover the key features only, because otherwise this video may become too long. So let's start with the features. Automatic start, basically your pump starts whenever the water level goes below a certain threshold in your tank. Automatically stop whenever the tank is full, it will automatically stop the motor. Scheduled start and scheduled stop. So basically you can start the motor at a specified time, and you can also, if you want it to be stopped at scheduled time, you can also have the stop also through the schedule. Dry run protection we provide through the two sensors. One is the sump empty sensor and one is the pipe sensor. So sump empty sensor is used when you are having the sump tank and you want to make sure that even though your overhead tank is empty, and since the sump tank is also empty, it does not run the motor infinitely in the dry run condition, because it cannot fulfill the tank because sump is already empty. Similarly, for the pipe sensor is being used when you are using the municipality water, for example, like the water is not coming but your tank is empty. So it should not happen that your motor keeps running to fill the tank, but tank cannot be filled because the water is not coming from the municipality. So to protect against those conditions, the dry run protection is available. We have a voltage protection. The voltage protection is for the low voltage and the high voltage condition. So whenever your voltage goes above 265 volt, or the input voltage goes below the 165 volt, then the voltage protection triggers and it will stop your motor. Similarly, we have a current protection. By default, we set it to the upper threshold of 14 ampere. So if your motor start taking more than 14 ampere, it will switch off your motor. Apart from the automatic start and stop, sometime you may need to override those controls and you need a manual control. So we provide a switch in the panel that through which if you can just press it, it will start the motor, and if you press it again, it will stop the motor. So manual switch override is also possible apart from the automatic. We also provide a countdown timer. The countdown timer basically helps you when you have a condition, for example, like whenever I start a motor, it should automatically switch off in 30 minutes, no matter what. So whether the motor is started with from the schedule or started from the sensor or started manually, it will automatically switch off after those many minutes or hours, whatever you have set into the countdown timer. So The big question that customer usually have in their mind, and whether this works without Wi-Fi, or does it need internet and the Wi-Fi. So I would like to clarify in very clear terms that the complete automation works without any Wi-Fi, without any internet, without any Bluetooth or a SIM card or anything, because it senses based on the sensors, and based on that sensor activity, it basically start and stop your motor. Even the schedules that we have, timers we have, does not need internet. We have a built-in clock and the battery to maintain the clock. So the timer also works without any internet or the Wi-Fi. So the question is, if the complete automation works without Wi-Fi, does it has the Wi-Fi support or the internet support? If yes, what is the use of that? So if you have the Wi-Fi in your home and you can provide the internet to the device, although it's not required for the automation, but you can have additional features that might be useful for you. Let's cover what are those features that are available when you can provide the internet to the device, although internet is not required for the mandatory automation. So when internet is available, you can get the notification in the app. So whenever the motor gets started or stopped, you will get a notification in your app that motor has been started at this particular time and at this particular date. Not only just the notification, but it will also come with the trigger level detail, whether motor started because of the sensor activity, sensor detected that water was low, or somebody pressed the switch manually, or was there any fault condition like over voltage that caused it to be stopped. So all those details comes in the notification. Anytime control is basically, you can control the or you can check the status of the motor from anywhere if you have the internet connected to the panel. So with that, even if you are in different city, you can check the status of your motor. You can check the status of your sensors anytime sensor check. Not only the status of the motor, you can also check the status of your sensor sitting in different city, sitting in different country, in fact. Because through the internet it can fetch the status of the sensor, and it can fetch the status of your motor, whether it's running or not running, or the empty is showing the tank is empty or not. It also provide the parameter update facility with the internet, like from remotely you can change the parameter. For example, like the current threshold that we have set from the factory is 14 ampere, but your motor takes, for example, 8 ampere only, and you want to set the upper threshold as 10 ampere for protection, that whenever it takes more than 10 ampere, the motor should be automatically switch off. So that is possible through the setting the parameter into the device. Voice control is also there, but we do not see much of the applicability of the voice control. But yes, if you have internet, you can also give the voice commands to start and stop your motors to Alexa or Google Assistant. The important feature is energy monitoring. It provides you the power consumption details of your motor, like how many units or how many kilowatt are units consumed today. So for the current month, it shows the date wise consumption, and for last 11 months, it provides you cumulative monthly basis consumptions. So that's the energy monitoring that you can have here, and you get to know how much power is consumed by your motor. If you have any further queries, you can contact us for the technical queries on 8130345141. And if you want to resell it, you want to install it, or you want any sales partnership, you can contact on 98116 82214. Anytime you can visit us on our Vasundhara office. Thank you.